Ahoy everyone! We are back in action with some more Agatha Christie Murder on the Orient Express, where we just saved everyone from certain death from freezing. It took me forever to figure out that sequence of puzzles, and I did require a couple of hints, but Poirot and I are still neck and neck for solving the mystery. Now back to solving the murder. Let's see. Just kind of need to explore till we pick up a lead.
I found this button from your tunic in the American lady's compartment.
I have lost no button, mademoiselle. There must be some mistake.
Then perhaps it was dropped by the man she said was in her room.
There was no one there. The lady must have imagined it.
I need to ask you some questions about Monsieur Ratchet's death.
But of course, Mademoiselle Marceau, I will do anything I can to help.
Oh, we can ask a lot about this. So we do know now that someone used a uniform to sneak on the train at Belgrade Station, and that's the uniform that the button came from for sure.
Did you leave the car at any time last night after Belgrade?
Well, I did go back to talk to Matteo, the attendant in the Athens-Paris car.
When was that?
Not long after one.
How long were
Really?
you gone?
A few minutes only. One of my bells rang. You remember, it was the American lady. She had rung several times.
I wonder if the train company is in on it.
Did anyone call for you last night after we spoke?
Yes, I made up the bed of the young American gentleman, Mr. Rachet's secretary.
At what time?
It must have been about a half hour later.
1:45.
About that, yes. The English colonel from number 15 was with him. The colonel went back to his own compartment as I prepared the American gentleman's bed.
That's kind of funny. Man, it's Ratchet's secretary. He must be out of a job now.
Did you see anyone moving about last night after we spoke?
The English colonel returned to his compartment. No one after that.
And when did you guys find the body?
When was the body discovered?
The valet of Monsieur Rachet, he tapped several times at the door this morning. There was no answer. Then, half an hour ago, Lucien, the waiter, came.
Oh, so
He
that's
wanted
who
to
Lucien
know
is.
if Monsieur was taking déjeuner. It was 11 o'clock, you comprehend.
Continue.
I opened the door for him with my pass key. But there is a chain, too, and that is fastened. There is no answer, and it is very still in there, and so cold. The window open, I borrow the engineer's hammer, and break the chain and go in.
Oh.
Monsieur Rachet was... oh, it was terrible. The chain was fastened. It must have been suicide?
I'm
Suicide.
sorry, Michelle. A person does not commit suicide by stabbing himself 12 times.
Yeah, you tell him,
No.
Annie.
I suppose not. This will mean so much trouble for the Express.
Alright, yeah, this is gonna be bad for business, I'll imagine. We'll just sweep it under the rug. Let's go see if we can have a chat with Poirot. Not because I need his help or anything, I just want to talk with him. Maybe he needs my help.
Monsieur Poirot.
Catching up to speed?
And that is everything I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Now, let us see what we can learn.
Steak knife was clean? We don't have all the passports and fingerprints. We don't have any fingerprints. How are we supposed to do that?
I think I have
Unfortunately, I do not think so, mademoiselle. So please to make certain next time, huh? Remember our challenge.
I don't yet have everything I need to take and record the suspect's fingerprints.
Okay, so that's all I needed to hear.
The steak knife I found by the cliff was clean. No blood or fingerprints.
It is a nuisance, that knife. On the face of it, it is of no importance. And yet, someone has taken the trouble to try and fling it over a cliff.
Au revoir, Monsieur Poirot.
I just realized that we're probably collecting fingerprints on items that are already in our inventory. Let's explore all the different cars first to make sure there's just nothing new going on.
Monsieur Foscarelli.
Ah, signorina! I have been told you aid the great Hercule Poirot in his investigations. I will help you in any way I can.
Oh, that's great. Give me your fingerprints, Foscarelli.
May I have your passport, please?
That'll do too.
Of course, of course! Here you are!
Wow, he's very forthright with that. I was kind of expecting him to be a little withholding.
What do you smoke? A pipe, cigarettes, cigars?
Cigarettes only.
Nah, he vapes.
You are Antonio Foscarelli. I see here you are a naturalized American citizen.
Yes, Signorina. It is better for my business. I am, as you can see, a salesman of motor cars. I do big business. I am up to date. I understand salesmanship.
Maybe you sold someone some murder recently?
Please tell me your movements last night after dinner.
With pleasure. I stay here in the salon car for a while. It is more amusing. I play cards with the American gentleman who sells the typewriter ribbons.
Oh,
We talk shop.
Hardman.
Afterwards, we retire to my compartment and play the cards some more. And talk more shop. That one, though, he is not the salesman Foscarelli is, I can tell you.
I believe you for some reason.
You travel frequently to and from the United States?
Yes, for the past 10 years or so.
Did you ever come across Monsieur Ratchet?
Never, but I know the type. Oh, yes. It is very respectable, very well dressed, but underneath it is all wrong. I should say he was a big crook. I give you my opinion for what it is worth.
Your opinion is quite right. Monsieur Ratchet was Cassetti, the kidnapper.
It's quite a bomb
What
to
did
drop
I
right
tell
there.
you? I have learned to read the face. It is necessary. Only in America do they teach you the proper way to sell.
And then, this is more about the Armstrong case, which somebody commented was actually a true story that was very sad.
Do you remember the Armstrong case?
I do not quite remember, but yes. The name, it was a little girl, was it not? A baby, una bambina.
Yes.
Ah, well, these things, they happen, even in a great country like America.
Have you ever come across any members of the Armstrong family?
It is difficult to say. I see so many people, you understand. I'll give you some figures. Last year alone, I sold...
Please, monsieur, confine yourself to the point.
He's
with
flexing
great
too hard.
pleasure.
Oh wow, there's a lot we can ask everybody. Okay, there may be a lot of dialogue in this episode.
What time did you stop playing cards in your room?
Not yet 10 o'clock. That stuffed shirt of a valet who shares the compartment with me came back from attending his master. A miserable people, the English. Not sympathetic. He sits in the corner, very stiff, reading a book. Mr. Hardman and I, we lose our taste for the cards, and Mr. Hardman, he goes off to his own room. The attendant makes up our bets.
Alibi seems solid considering the murder was at 1:15, but we don't know for sure.
What time did you go to bed?
I lay on my bunk for a while. The Englishman has, I think, the toothache. He gets out a little bottle of stuff that smells very strong. He moans and groans. I drop off around 10:30. Whenever I wake, I hear him groaning.
We'll have to go cross that with the Englishman then.
What time did you go to your compartment?
Oh, it was early. 8:30 or so.
Okay. And did Masterman ever leave the room? Masterman is the Englishman, I guess.
Did Monsieur Masterman ever speak of his master?
I tell you, he did not speak, even to introduce himself. He was not a sympathetic, a fish.
Do you know if Monsieur Masterman left the room at all during the night?
I do not think so. If the door opened, the light from the corridor, one wakes up automatically thinking it is the customs examination at some frontier.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Alright, so I believe him for the most part. Foscarelli seems like a good dude, but we should go talk with Masterson to make sure that he corroborates his story. What's up, Lucien? Can I get some whiskey on the
May I
rocks?
have your passport, please?
Oui, mademoiselle. You will find it in room 1-2 in the Athens Paris coach.
Didn't we already steal that from him? Let's ask him about other people.
What do you know of Klaus, the chef?
Un artiste de la cuisine, and just as temperamental as a painter. Vous comprenez? No one is allowed to enter his kitchen.
His menu seems to overemphasize meat dishes.
It is true that. They call him Le Boucher, but not to his face, of course.
The butcher. It suits him. Did you see or hear anything unusual last night?
No, mademoiselle. The Athens Paris coach was very quiet. And of course, the door leading to the Calais coach is locked. One can pass through only if Pierre Michel or Matteo opens it for him.
What can you tell me of your movements after dinner?
I came in here to attend to the bar after everyone went to their rooms. I cleaned the salon car and went to the Athens Paris coach to rest.
What time was that?
I closed the bar at midnight, so it would be a few minutes after that.
Wow, there's a lot we can say.
Do you know Monsieur Ratchet was killed with a knife?
I had heard this, oui, but why? You think Klaus may have stabbed him?
A chef that temperamental?
It was the
if
stiletto,
someone was
though,
to
not a
criticize
steak
his
knife.
masterpieces?
Mais non, mademoiselle. C'est très absurd. Klaus would not stab anyone. Not with a knife. He would hack them into little medallions with his cleaver.
See, that I believe.
Klaus seems even more temperamental than usual today.
I fear an approaching catastrophe, mademoiselle.
Worse than avalanches and murder?
Certainement. Special dinner menus, as you no doubt know, are printed in advance of our departure in Istanbul. Here is tonight's menu. As you can see, tonight is to serve Wiener Schnitzel and Erdapfe Salat, native dishes of Austria, in honor of the Count and Countess Andrenis.
Veal and potatoes. Why does this not surprise me?
But so many have asked for the salads, almost in defiance of Chef Klaus, and the porters have failed to put aboard enough vinegar and olive oil for the Erdapfe Salat. Klaus is in a rage. The embarrassment will be too much for him.
You mean to tell me there's not enough vinegar and olive oil in those massive casks in the back?
What do you know of Klaus's movements last
Or maybe they don't
night?
know about those.
As usual, he stayed in his precious kitchen, preparing his pastries and sauces for the next day's meals. He passed through the salon car a few minutes before midnight in a rage because one of the steak knives is missing.
Oh, I found it.
Passengers will take anything as a souvenir if it is not bolted down. Why, the things that have gone missing on this trip would astound you.
But perhaps they were not all taken as souvenirs. Perhaps some person, in order to do good, borrowed them?
Mademoiselle, forgive me, but I do not understand what you are talking about.
Let
You're
it
not a real
pass.
detective yet. You gotta learn
What
to
did
steal
Klaus
shit without
do
remorse,
after
Annie.
he entered the salon car?
Nothing. We went together to the Athens Paris coach.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Okay. I have a lead now, and that is that Klaus could use some olive oil and vinegar. We'll talk with the counts later. I don't want to just waterboard everyone with dialogue right now. Oh, and Mary. She's cool. Okay, let's see if we can get some, First, let's find out where Klaus is. Apparently he has a kitchen that's, like, super secret that he lets no one into. It's not around this corner, is it? Ooh, the table's done. Anything here important?
These menu cards are perfect for collecting fingerprints.
Oh, that's straightforward. Then, a butter knife, too.
Sterling silver, of course.
Okay, we've seen that. I don't think I can take any soup ladles.
I just don't have the appetite right now.
I don't blame you, Annie. Okay. How about in here?
Monsieur Klaus,
Oh, shit, you scared me.
I understand you need olive oil and vinegar for tonight's meal.
Yeah, the food porters in Istanbul did not load enough. I am shamed if I cannot prepare the promised Wiener Schnitzel and Erdapfel salad for the Count and Countess Andrenis.
right.
Intolerable.
We'll get right on it, man. You know, actually, there was that key that we found in the, station pocket. I wonder if that's a master key that would open this. Second pass key?
That key doesn't fit the lock.
Well, I'm not sure what that's for then, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. Here we go. So we already have the olive oil. Let's get the thick tumbler filled
I
with white
think
wine.
not. It's more valuable as a clue.
Oh, okay. So, I guess we're gonna have to go back to the salon car and get an actual glass. Man, I'm thirsty now. What? Okay, I guess we're just taking 1,000,000 of those now. Bunch of water glasses. Maybe we need to fill up multiple for him. I'm not sure. I would have thought we only needed one. Okay. Fill this up.
I don't need any more olive oil.
Okay, so just one of each then. Not sure
I
what the extra
filled the
glasses are
tumbler
for.
with vinegar.
Okay. Back to my boy Klausy, and then we'll also maybe try
These
and
goods are...
give him his steak knife back. there's one man you want on your side on a train where a murder has just taken place, it's the maniac wielding a meat cleaver.
I have the olive oil and vinegar you need for tonight's meal.
Let me see them. Yeah, this olive oil is fresh enough and of sufficient quality.
That does not look like olive oil.
Quality of this vinegar will have to do, but there is not nearly enough. Tell me at once where you found it.
In the baggage car.
There must be far more vinegar for the authentic elderfeld salad. I will get it myself.
Just gonna take the whole damn cask. Ooh,
That will do nicely.
Did you just leave the kitchen unattended? Yes, he did. All right.
Loaves of bread. They smell lovely.
This looks like the kitchen from the White Wolf of
believe-
Icicle Creek Wii mode, where you actually get to, like, make a bunch of dishes.
An empty bottle of olive oil and one that looks like it contained vinegar.
I like those nice glass bottles.
Such a cramped kitchen. Such a cramp. Such a
What are we doing in here? Do we want to get his fingerprints? Is that the aim? No, you're not taking his cleaver, are you? He's totally gonna notice if that goes missing. And this is all stuff he needs for his dinner. Carafe of orange juice. I shouldn't drink it, but perhaps I could find another use. Are we gonna use the citrus and the orange juice to, like, I don't know, power that one radio we found? Really don't know what the orange juice is gonna be for. Where'd that cleaver go? Really have, like, no idea. There it is. Let's have a look at this. Quite certain the cleaver could cut through almost anything. Okay, so...
I'd better close this. I wouldn't like to waste fuel.
Okay, well, I'm not sure how to collect fingerprints in this game. I'm assuming we're gonna need some kind of dust. Or ash. So maybe we need to find someone who's a regular smoker. I don't know. Let's start talking. Let's talk with my bestie, Mary. What's good, girl?
I'm sorry to disturb you.
Not at all. As you can see, I'm not exactly occupied at the moment. And I do know you're helping that funny little Belgian detective. What can I do for you?
Give me the passport.
May I have your passport, please?
It's in my compartment. Feel free to collect it.
Okay.
You seem very at ease. Are you not distressed by what has happened?
Distressed? I have not really thought about it from that point of view. No, I cannot say that I am at all distressed. After all, people die every day.
They die, yes, but murder is thankfully a little more rare.
I don't know. That's kind of sus of you to say.
I'd like to take your fingerprints.
How very enterprising of you. How do we proceed?
I have some typewriter ribbon.
Oh, we're just gonna ink the
Splendid.
fingerprints.
This is all rather exciting.
Okay. That's simple. Give me literally your entire... Just dox yourself right now.
Your full name, permanent address, and age, please.
Mary Hermione Debenham,
Hermione.
32. I'm between permanent addresses at the moment.
Okay, Harry Potter fan.
What can you tell me of the murder last night?
I'm afraid I have nothing to tell you. I went to bed and slept.
Wait, did she say she's between permanent addresses? What does that even mean? She just a drifter?
Were you acquainted with Monsieur Ratchet?
I saw him for the first time at dinner last night. Oh, I suppose at the station, perhaps. I don't recall.
How did he strike you?
I hardly noticed him.
He did not strike you as an evil personality?
Bro, Ratchet
Really,
was
I
funny.
cannot say I thought about it. Whether or not I liked Mr. Ratchet's face does not seem to be helpful in finding out who killed him.
Do you know who Monsieur Ratchet really was?
Haven't a clue. Who was he?
Cassetti, the man behind the Armstrong kidnapping.
That was quite abominable.
No one really seems to care about this bombshell.
What is your final destination?
London. I'm giving up on Baghdad. Not much happens there. I'm hoping to find a suitable post in London.
And where did you come from?
Where did you begin your journey?
Baghdad.
What were you doing there?
I have been acting as governess to 2 children.
Did Mademoiselle Schmidt leave your compartment at any time during the night?
She was with the princess, reading, I believe, until quite late. I awoke when she returned. I remember thinking she was not paid enough for such long hours and checked my watch. It was 12:38.
Oh, so that was just a little before the murder happened. And, tell me more about Schmidt. She's the German lady who needed us to find her parasol.
What can you tell me about Mademoiselle Schmidt?
She's a nearly perfect traveling companion. Quiet, polite, thinks the world of her princess.
That too.
What is the color of her dressing gown?
Her dressing gown. It's dark blue. Flannel.
What is that about? I don't remember. Did we find something weird in her room?
How well do you know Colonel Arbuthnot?
That's a very impertinent question. And I'll not answer it.
Good day to you, mademoiselle.
Oh, that's right. She's the one that we think is having an affair with her. With him. Maybe we'll have to ask him about that. Alright, let's talk with the Counts. We've never really held a full conversation with these two.
Count Andreni, I am acting on behalf of Monsieur Hercule Poirot in this matter. May I speak with you?
I quite understand your position. I will do anything I can to assist you.
Okay, this guy may not be the murderer, but he is definitely Dracula.
May I have your passport, please?
Yes, certainly.
What does it say here? Country of
Rudolph
origin,
Joseph
Transylvania?
Andreni, aged 34. A diplomatic passport.
Yes, I am in the Hungarian consular service.
Wife, Elena Maria Andreni. Age 20?
20?
Yes, we have only been married a year.
Girl?
Aged 20, thank you.
What are you doing?
Are you aware of the identity of the deceased, monsieur?
If you want to know his name, surely it is in his passport.
The name on his passport is Ratchet. That is not his real name. He is in fact Cassetti, who was responsible for the kidnapping and death of a child in America.
Is his name just Cassetti? Like,
that
what's his
certainly
first and
should
last
throw
name?
light upon the matter.
Have you been to America, Monsieur Lecomte?
Yes, I was in Washington for a year. Extraordinary country.
Did you know the Armstrong family?
The kidnapped victim?
Why would he?
Yes.
Have these developers ever been to America? It's kind of big.
Armstrong. It is difficult to recall. So many diplomatic functions. So many hands to shake.
He was in Washington and the
recall.
kidnapping took
I'm
place in New
sorry.
Paltz, New York. Alright, let's get his fingerprints.
I'd like to take your fingerprints.
Both of your fingerprints.
Whatever you need to do, I will be happy to cooperate.
So far, nobody has really resisted the fingerprinting.
Can you tell me how you spent the evening after dinner last night?
We had my wife's compartment made up while we were at dinner. On returning, we sat up in mine playing piquet. At about 11 o'clock, my wife retired for the night. The attendant made up my compartment, and I also went to bed.
Do you smoke, Monsieur Lecomte?
The occasional cigar only. They are always offered to me, you understand, but I do not much like them.
When did you return to your own compartment?
Well, I didn't, actually. That is to say, I did not like to leave my wife alone after the shock. We passed the remainder of the night together.
Oh, I wonder if you have your wife's alibi.
The sudden stop of the train awakened you?
Naturally. I learned from the attendant of the avalanche, then went in to my wife and comforted her.
Other than the train stopping, did you notice anything unusual?
No, I don't think so. I dropped off to sleep sometime before 2 a.m. and slept through until this morning.
You didn't hear the commotion in the
After 2
compartment
a.m..
next to yours? The American lady who occupies it had quite an attack of hysterics and rang repeatedly for the attendant.
When was this?
At approximately 1:15.
115.
No, I'm afraid I didn't notice.
Au revoir, Monsieur Lecomte.
Oh, we had our first real stutter in the interrogation. Let's see what she says.
Countess, may I ask you some questions regarding the death of Monsieur Ratchet?
I'm not sure what I can do to help, but I'll try.
Okay, give me your fingerprints.
May I take your fingerprints?
Yes.
Once again, no one's resisting the fingerprints. I figured more people would be stingy about that.
What is the color of your dressing gown?
Why do you ask me that?
Detectives have to ask all sorts of questions. Forgive me.
It is yellow. Corn-colored chiffon. Are you really a detective, mademoiselle? I was told you worked for the railway.
Yeah, we're kind of
Well,
LARPing.
I'm assisting a detective. That's what I meant.
Is he a Yugoslavian detective?
I think he would tell you he belongs to the world, madame. Have you been to America?
No, mademoiselle. My husband was posted there. Diplomatic duties. But we were not married then.
Fair enough.
When did you fall asleep last night?
Here we go.
Soon after 1 o'clock, I believe.
But he was up till like 2. Weird.
Did you hear or see anything unusual last evening?
After the train stopped?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
You didn't hear Mrs. Hubbard ringing her bell and calling out at around 1:15?
No, it would be very unlikely if I did. I'm sorry.
Au revoir, Madame la Comtesse.
I think he's become pretty suspicious just now. She fell asleep at 1, and so she could have slept through everything. But he says that he was up at the time of her hysterics, but he didn't say anything about it. Kinda weird if you ask me. Lucien, I need your fingerprints, man.
I'd like to talk to you again, if you don't mind. I would like to take your fingerprints.
I see. Very well then.
Good day, monsieur.
Foscarella, I need yours too.
I'd like to talk to you again, if you don't mind. I would like to take your fingerprints.
Of course, of course. Anything to help.
Thank you.
Gonna be a lot of gathering fingerprints this episode, I feel. That and
Thank
passports.
you, Monsieur Foscarelli.